No, at this point, I'm not even lying to you when I say this. It's true. Nintendo is truly about to take over the gaming space. And honestly, it was a long time coming. So if you took a look at every other company's blunders over the past month, or maybe even over the past years, you'll realize one thing in common. One of them being there's no games, another one being physical to digital controversy, and another one being, well, maybe Nintendo's just for the best. I agree, Nintendo's not perfect. They have let a lot of the community down many times before, but it seems like they're actually trying to bring peace with the decision that they decided to do. If we were to take a look at everything going on with the gaming industry, you'll realize so many different things that it's honestly really interesting that we didn't notice this sooner. So first, if we took a look at PlayStation's blunder that they decided to just do, after not caring about their fan base and just releasing a controller to address the controversy, that's it. They just act like nothing ever happened, just went on with their day. This never ever happened. Oh well, if you want digital, you're coming to do digital. And it makes you wonder, then what's the point of getting a PlayStation? Because I'm not the only one that's over here with, well, I use that to get disc for the games that I really enjoy. So if you can't get disc anymore, then what's the point? There's no point whatsoever than a computer that you can play your games. Also, if we were to look at Xbox over here, oh boy, for the longest time Xbox seems to be falling into the ground. But now, maybe this reboot is going to raise them back up, but still lower than any other company. But with Nintendo, it seems much different, doesn't it? Well, of course, they did get rid of Mario Kart Tour later this year, but this might be all for one strategy that they got planned. Potentially some Mario Kart World DLC, or even more, or some updates, or maybe even a free offline mode. Because originally when they said, we are not planning at all to release whatever an offline mode, that was probably 3 years ago if you look when the game was actually thriving. So who knows what's going to be happening here. But overall, when I were to take a look at everything, you'll realize that what makes a company or even a video game console truly special? Games. If you look at the amount of exclusive for each system, you'll realize that Nintendo is pretty much almost beating every other company, even though they've been out since 2020, which is absolutely insane, mind you. So you'll look at here's PlayStation's physical or even games that they released. Oh boy, that's definitely not a lot. I would have thought it'd be more. Xbox is actually doing better in terms of games than PlayStation. Oh boy, who would have thought? But whatever, this is definitely really interesting. And then Nintendo with the Switch 2. Somehow we have a staggering 20 games, probably even more at this point. But overall, this is all to say that this is one special thing. Plus, if you were to look at it, Nintendo has been slowly agreeing with fans, don't you think? We said, hey, you know what? A DLC for Mario Kart World would be cool. A free one. So here we are. We got a free update. Of course, there's probably going to be that paid update in the future that's going to add an extra island or something to Mario Kart World, but at least this is a step in the right direction. If you look at the Pokémon company, for the longest time, fans have been complaining, hey, I can't get my hands on TCG. What in the world is going on here? Scalpers are through the roof. I have to pay, what, double the price to get a hand on Pokemon product? Well, Nintendo, or the Pokemon company, has answered to those complaints, and they're trying to do something about all those scalpings and things. And honestly, this is definitely really great when you look at those, because hey, I honestly want to start collecting Pokemon just to get my hands on the 30th anniversary set, because that is honestly going to be a fantastic set. I'm honestly so excited for that set because it brings so much love to the Pokemon series, the Pokemon franchise, with all the cards that they are going to be getting. It's honestly going to be fantastic. But yeah, overall, it just seems like Nintendo is taking the right steps in the right direction. They might be listening to fans, they might not be listening to fans. Because there's one big thing that I wanted to take a look at. So with Nintendo, you pay to play online, but it's only like $20 a year, which isn't that bad for playing online. Of course, it used to be free, but with the new age of things getting more expensive, maybe they didn't want to leave us that server for free. But it's only really $20, which is fine, and you can choose if you want to have extra old games. But with other companies, it's at least $100 a year, which is like taking that money, throwing it out the window, and calling it a day. Honestly, that's definitely not something that you want to see, because hey, if you just want to play a game with your friend, you gotta pay $100 a year, or you gotta pay like $20 a month, which is like not great. And the bonuses that you get are just things to, hey, you got games, so keep paying us, keep paying us. It's not something that you want to see, at least with Nintendo. $30 isn't bad for at least you're getting all your older games, like the SNES, the NES, like games that you grew up with, which is honestly pretty fantastic. And if you want to get GameCube, N64, and GBA, you can pay for that as well. So it's kind of like a different tier. There was apparently a rumor that Nintendo was planning a third Switch Online tier. This might be cheaper for just online, but I can't confirm this. Overall, it is definitely really cool. And also with physical and everything like that, there's been a lot of talks about Nintendo making a bigger size cartridge. One of them was 120 gigabyte, the other one was 32, and the other one might have been 16. So right now we have 64, and that's pretty great for the cartridge size that we have. But of course, seeing bigger ones, smaller ones would be great, because then the margin, it isn't taking as much profit as the company would. So then it gives you the incentive to do more physical games. Plus Nintendo honestly pretty much said that they weren't going to cancel physical, is what I've heard from comments and things from past videos. It honestly does make sense, because if you look at it, Nintendo is a toy company, and their whole brand identity was always to give the player and the family or whatever the comfort that you're actually own something, you're playing with toys and things like that. So that's why there's amiibos that are still around. That's why the games are still in the cartridge in a nice cool box, because honestly I love just reading the back of the box. Hey, I own this, look at that, I can read the back, I can see more plans and strategy. But that just could be me. And also, if they were to get rid of physical media, well then the Nintendo store, one of the most iconic Nintendo things, would be pretty much gone, because without physical games, why would you go to the Nintendo store if it's all digital? See, Nintendo really is all about toys and owning things, and honestly this is just lovely to see. Also, when you look at all of the other things that really are interesting with games, games are a big seller of systems nowadays, and you really want more and more games to keep going. With 2026, it's been really interesting, but at least we've been getting more and more games. Games that you might like, might not like, whatever the case may be. If you look at PlayStation in 2026, or whatever the case may be, there's not that many games. Right now, we're getting Ocarina of Time. We're getting Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. We got Splatoon Raiders, whatever the case may be. And then in 2027, it's going to be a huge year for the Nintendo Switch 2. We've already known this. We have Pokemon Winds and Waves, which is going to be huge. We got Super Mario Wonder, whatever they want to call it, the next 3D Mario. We got Xenoblade. We potentially have another Legend of Zelda. We got so many games like Kirby and that stuff. Like, it's going to be absolutely insane. So honestly, Nintendo, they just won. Let's just go with it. They took over. Anyways, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that Nintendo actually is taking over, or not at all? Anyways, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed. Consider hit that like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. You can help me reach my goal of 5,000 subscribers by the end of July, which July 30th is my birthday. I would really appreciate you joining our community and making it bigger and grow. And if you want to, use the community feature for other things, like show us your physical collection. Anyways, thank you so much. See you in the next one.